good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are. This is the effects of COVID-19 on the family, the blueprint. And you're here with me, Shamika James, social worker, and Abby, always representing the UK. And the topic this evening, tonight, is education. Yeah, I mean, like, when it is we think about COVID-19, this whole pandemic, education was one thing that has been affected, right? Whether it's young adults in school, preschoolers, adults, person who are doing continuation studies, you know, our education, the system itself has been affected. So Abby, do you agree that our education system has definitely been affected?
Of course, definitely. Um, the school leavers in 2020, they were hit hard where their results wasn't, you know, it wasn't good as they expected. And
Hmm.
then this year, the results again, due to coursework, meaning doing little stuff from home, give the others
Yeah.
an advantage, you know.
Yes. Yes.
And then they had problems with the online in the beginning, teaching online classes
Hmm.
at home. They had a big
Yes.
problem at the start, so it definitely gave them a bit of a rock, this COVID.
Yes. Definitely. Because I remember March of last year, it would have been like 2 weeks, like in Trinidad and Tobago, about 2 to 3 weeks before the term, actually, ended. It was coming to a close.
Hmm.
But, for us, Trinidad and Tobago to transition to online learning. So being okay, they say, let us see how things go. And then all of a sudden we were hearing, lockdown,
Hmm.
right? So everybody who is joining on the live, let us know, what your experience has been since the pandemic has started. What changes, you had to make, whether as an educator, a parent, a student, how did you find it, affected you? Anybody who is, in the education sector, and of course, as I say, the parents, how did you feel as a parent having to make that type of adjustment from dropping a child off to school or ensuring that they get to school, whether it's public transport, whatever transport, and then here we are, online learning. We were forced into, because some persons, they would have had the choice of whether or not they would like to do schooling face to face, in person. And of course, we know it would have had online classes going on before, because if it have a little short course or
Hmm.
depend on the program that you're doing, it would have been online. But you had a choice in the matter, and this time we really didn't have a choice. We had to
That's true.
learn from behind the screen.
Hmm.
Well, not even behind the screen, in front the screen, however you want to put it, right? But we know it would have been online. And I mean, having to do that transition was really hard. First of all, we weren't ready. We weren't prepared
Hmm.
for this. I think that was the main thing. The being prepared for it. Just as if an earthquake hits us,
Yeah,
we in Trinidad and Tobago are not ready. Like, we're not. We are not ready for any major natural disaster.
yeah.
I mean, no COVID-19, that's the pandemic, and we definitely weren't prepared for that, and being having to adjust to online learning. The teachers weren't ready, the students weren't
Not
ready,
already.
the parents weren't ready, and all the networks, whether it be mobile, digital, flow, whoever providing internet service, they weren't ready either, because I mean, we didn't need all that internet before. Now the web is flooded because everybody needs to be online.
Online,
So
yeah.
yeah, everyone needs to be online. So it was really flooding the system. right? And because we weren't prepared, of course, there would have been a period that, children were going without some level of schooling. It affected here for us the SCA examination. It affected those who, doing CSEC and CAPE. Because, I mean, that time exams were coming up. You get cut short. You couldn't continue. If you had any final touches on the SBAs, you had to adjust real quick. Real quick. That adjustment, it was just tough.
Yeah.
And, I mean, for you, Abby, you would not have had that experience down here as a parent with a child having to write exam. But did any of your children have to write any major exams or anything like that when the
Yes, the
pandemic came?
GCSEs. My daughter wrote this year. It was easy for her, meaning they done a lot of coursework at home.
Right. Good
Give
evening,
them time to
Candace.
research, and they
Yeah.
had a lot of time at home. But from a boy, to get him to sit down and pay attention, and the distraction at home, the games, it was a
Yes.
bit tough. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So, Candace, you can share in the comment section if it is online, how, as a parent, how has it been? What was the experience having to adjust, from face to face to now online learning? Yes, what's the experience? Anybody come in and share experience as an educator, parent, um, students, whatever it is, share your experience. Even a taxi driver, we know those the taxi drivers, Maxi and taxi would have been affected, because it have no more train to pick up. Normally, that is, they are the passengers, but now they are, it's only now they are coming back out because school, they're trying to roll out and get back to that face to face. Now, the thing about it is, online learning is so much different from the face to face. I mean, teachers had to become very creative. And Abby, as you rightfully said, you see the distraction at home is a real challenge.
Problem. Yeah.
Yes, because let me tell you, it have times where if it is you are accustomed walking around the house, let us say your home, Abby, and you are accustomed walking around maybe in a towel or something, right? And now your child has to be online, and if they may be out in the living room or wherever, right? And then you forget that they're online and you pass them by, with a towel wrapped around.
Well, oh my.
Yes, and then it might have some very rowdy neighbors, and then it might hear somebody bust a curse. I mean, it's so many different distractions. And then the students now, if they have cell phones, they have their phones, they're playing games on it during class time. And the thing about it is, online, if everyone has on their camera, sometimes everybody just put the feed just pull. So there's a lot of, internet connection keeps dropping. If it is the weather is not so, on our side, a lot of rain and thunder and lightning make it worse. You're gonna have real problems with the internet. So sometimes, students apologizing. Sorry, miss. Sorry, sir. The internet, it is really, it's that part is tough. Now, what I think, well, not what I think, what I definitely know would have been a very real thing and, very unfortunate is that some children were out of devices. Some children, and if it is they did have a device, they would have had to share a device with their siblings at the home, right? Well, in the home. Parents had to give up their cell phone, and that had to be their device. They can't take no calls. That's let people, hey, don't call during this time because my child needs to be online learning his or her work. It would have been really tough. You might be begging people to send out a phone card just to have data because not everyone has, Wi-Fi. They don't have that, internet service at home. what they will call hardlines. So not everyone has that.
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't have a laptop that may make it much easier to see on a screen, right? So, now people, the amount of persons may have gone for glasses in this COVID, right? No wonder every time I pass, I see any optometrist, the office is
Packed.
full. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because it can affect the eyes. It really can be in
Yeah.
on the screen for so long. And I know that some of these schools they would have implemented things like screen break, and you take a time to you do work online, you learn what the teacher, demonstrates and all the different things, and then you come off and you do the practical part, you do your homework or whatever assignment, as I said, coursework, right? That
Yeah.
would have been another thing that, is given to the student. Yeah. Now, for some persons, online would have really worked, especially those that have some with, like autism. Even some persons with ADHD as well has actually functioned better online than face to face. One, they don't have that distraction of having to poke somebody else in the classroom, right? Um, some of them they are just glad that they don't have to be in anybody, nobody's in their space.
Yeah.
So that makes it a lot easier for them. They
That's
will,
true.
they're happy
Yeah.
for that. They don't have to, because some of them didn't like coming out. So they're happy that they can be home. Or I can learn from home now. They like it. Have some of them actually like that, right? In terms of another thing is convenience. You don't have that traveling to do
Oh
to
yes.
get to school or to get to work. So Candice is saying online learning is different and can be frustrating at times. Oh yes, it can be very frustrating. So let me tell you, when it is you're calling these students and you wonder and you see with the internet, you see sometimes if the device is giving trouble as well, you don't know if it is there sticking and the response is just taking long to come. And then you have to make sure that a lot of repetition as well. So like in my case, a lot of repetition needs to be done. And my colleagues, a lot of repetition because they don't have that, and it have some things that they really need to be there hands on with them. So parents who may have been working have to look for someone to look after their child. That would have been a challenge too, because then they had the cases where they're saying it's only if it is the caregivers, stays in, then they should be working. All these different things. Preschools closed, daycares closed. So, and people just calling around. Hey, I can leave my child by you. Can you look after them? I'll give you a little change.
Change.
Because
Yeah.
nobody ain't doing that for free. It is, some people are really definitely not doing that for free in this time because listen, it is a task. And
Yeah.
I think this time around, parents, they really, really, they get to learn about some of them get to learn their children a little bit more and their behavior in the class, let us say in the classroom. Sometimes by the time they're out and what it is they talking about, right? And they see now what the teachers experience during the
Yeah.
term. Yeah, they say, nah, my child don't do this, so my child, nah, not my child.
I
And
thought
then
my
it's
son
that
was
it's
an angel. Yeah, but he's not.
he's not easily distracted, and you see distraction is really, really something else.
Yeah.
It's really something else. Right? So just the whole system itself and having to adjust, that would have been a challenge. While the convenience is there, so let us say some people are working from home, they don't have to rush to get up to cook. They might be able to have something bubbling on the pot while they are teaching a class. They could put some clothes in the machine. All these different things in terms of convenience. But at the same time, that face-to-face, the socialization aspect of it as well for the students, the young adults, right? That's very, very it is missing, and it is one of the most important parts of the education system. It is one of the
Mm-hmm.
most that's socialization, where it is they learn how to build relationships. You can't really do that online. It is
Mm-mm.
tough. You can't play no game. You can't kick a ball online. You
Mm.
understand? Good afternoon,
Hi,
Verena.
Farina.
Good afternoon, and I have a little bit of a noisy background, but I can't really help it this afternoon.
Oh,
But
Like,
yes,
mhm. Like Verena reached into her socialization, her party. She did say she was going to a lime or something of the sort.
right.
So it looked like she reached to that place, right? And earlier on when we did the effects of we were doing the effects of COVID-19 on the family, we spoke about socialization. Now,
Mm-hmm.
persons because they are vaccinated, they kind of getting to go out some more. So we've seen all those who couldn't wait and they're out and about, like
Right.
Verena.
Like Farina. And Chizan.
Like well, Jazan had a time, and Jazan, of course,
yeah,
yes.
Jazan, well, Jazan.
So,
Oh gosh.
right, I don't know how Verena going and do this um this evening. Share her experiences as a parent as well with the online learning and the adjustment that had to be made for
Mm-hmm.
online learning. So, Verena, I don't know how we could get it in quick.
So it has been difficult. It has been a bit difficult in terms, well, for my daughter who needs more hands-on um, engagement as opposed to my sons who could work in different conditions quite easily, right? They can adapt easily. But for my daughter, it was difficult. Also, though, I noticed that for the kids, they are a bit distracted when they're on the devices, and that is because they know how to move away from the classroom and go on the internet and all those things. So they are a bit distracted in that aspect.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's what we're talking about, the games. If it is
Mm-hmm.
they are using a laptop or even if they are using their phones, they could simply just press on the home screen and go into another app while the class is going on,
Exactly.
right?
Oh, I had trouble with that.
So even yeah,
Hmm.
it is very, very, and then parents are like focus on class. Sometimes you'll even see it have cases where parents might give the child two clouds right in front of the class because they are not paying
Oh
attention.
no.
Yes, yes. Well, in know the culture here, you get two clouds if it is you're not listening and you're
Mm-hmm.
not paying attention, right? And then the other thing too is the amount of I think some students they got a heavier workload because
Mm.
I mean trying to understand how to adjust and really manage the work and space it out where you get everything covered in a reasonable time, right? I think some things will really stuff down the students' throats. Like you have to learn that it's and a lot of homework. I would have heard some parents complaining about the time that homework was being sent all after 7, 9 in the night,
Mm.
on weekends, and it's like, whew, real work, boy, this is more work than when they're in school face to face.
Mm.
And that was also another challenge, parents were having, right? But I think this year they said, some of the students they did pretty well because they were able to now adjust to, the situation. Now I think you see persons who, would have been doing all who had exams to do, it would have been tough. I say I don't know how I would have made it. I'm like, I don't know. Because I don't like the online, so I don't know how I would have really done with an online class. Now, I did one little
Mm-hmm.
short something over the part of July, August, that July, August period. And I was like, I could go back to school. But
Yeah.
that was just that was just for a short time. I mean, to have to do it for a whole year and a half, going on to 2 years. I don't know about that. I am not. I
Mm-mm.
wouldn't be a fan. I wouldn't be a happy well, not camper, but learner. I wouldn't. Yeah. And I
I
wouldn't.
find that quieter place.
Nice. So I know
Yeah.
Verena said she did some courses because as adults we too, may do some courses and try to improve our portfolios, etc. So Verena,
Uh-huh.
did you do any courses that you could have been, get a certificate for during the
Yeah,
pandemic?
I definitely got certificates. I attended workshops that I got certificates for, courses that I got certificates for, and all were done online. Of course, they were free courses, not the ones to pay, but all were online. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, it was like learning on demand. So I learn whenever I have time. So
Right.
teacher and fall asleep 9 o'clock, 9 to 10 or 9 to 11 is my time to log on and take in what I had to take in and then go to bed. So that worked out for me.
Right.
In
Right.
terms of balancing the children and trying to achieve something for myself. you know. And I was not
Yeah.
tired, like when you go out to work and you come home, you feel so exhausted.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was better not to be not exhausted, you're more relaxed because you're home. And of course, as Shamika was saying, when I came in, you get to do a little bit of um household chores while you're home and teaching. So it kind of relaxes you, knowing that okay, not everything happening in the weekend.
Right.
So yeah, it was nice. And you avoided the traffic. If traffic
Oh,
was a half an
Yeah.
hour going and coming, that's an hour you save.
wow. Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
just check it. So, like
Yeah.
traveling to Port of people who have to travel to Port of Spain, that's like 4 hours going and coming, or 2 hours depending on the traffic.
Depending
So
on the traffic.
you utilize that time to do other things in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And well, my sisters, well, she had no problem. It worked out for her as well with this online learning. So she didn't have to travel. That really saved a lot of time. So she get more time to study and do assignments and so forth. Right? So I think that was the plus in having online learning. You didn't
The
have
biggest
that
plus.
traveling to do. It would
Uh-huh.
have been convenient. However, you miss the socialization. You miss having the ability to just ask. If you have a question, you could ask the teacher a question right there on the spot. Good evening, Sonali. So, Sonali, as an educator, share your experience on having to transition from face to face to online. Yeah. So, it is, I would say tough, especially the teachers who have been in this service for long and they will say, oh, I'm not tech savvy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
That you see that way I have to now look. Now it have some they would have been into the technology and into online. So some of them had some experience in it, but not everyone did not have the experience. And if you had to adjust it, know if you're sharing a video, what is required to let the students hear the audio coming from all these different things they have to learn, how to upload assignments or even videos for the students to look at after class time. Where can they go and do these things? Yeah,
Exactly. And then you're
yeah,
accessible. Like if it's when it's in person school, right? Physical school, you're accessible between 8 to 2:30 or 3 o'clock when school over. But now online school you're accessible past that,
no,
because you have to
no. Listen,
some
I
people
ain't
no
saying
well they have the
accessible
phone.
past that. Well, yes, they have the phone true, but I think that would have been a
Yeah.
unhealthy practice.
Yes, it would have been an
Keep it
unhealthy practice.
unhealthy practice. So for
But then
all,
how you avoiding it? Because you have parents that are working throughout the day and only when they come home then they're going to see the
well,
the homework and the
during
whatever and the whatever.
yes, all of that is true. But what is the other thing? During the school time when they are accessible, what about the homework then? And I think that now what would have happened? Parents now were able to be more involved in their child's education. So for those who may
Exactly.
have been bypassing it
Lackadaisical.
and doing what they want, Now they get the experience. They had the experience of being involved in their child's learning. Yeah, they
Uh-huh.
could say, hey, there's real work. Yeah, real work.
Yeah.
Verena, is this
Yeah.
like the music missing you again?
Apparently.
Yes.
Right.
So, you know, it is. I
Yeah.
mean,
One
I will.
one of my experience with the unhealthy practice was because the kids know they don't have to go to school. Their
Mm-hmm,
sleeping, the sleeping pattern has changed drastically. And when they know they have to go online at 9, they can't even
mm-hmm.
get up. So, they're sleeping halfway through the class. That was a nightmare, and
Yes.
during me working nights and stuff, I had to keep waking myself up to go and check to make sure he's on there. So it was really, frustrating, tiring, and annoying. But yeah, the sleeping patterns was horrible, horrible.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, definitely. Because some of them will think, well, I don't need to get up this early because I don't have to
Mm,
travel. I could just get up, run in the shower, and just sit down in front of the laptop or tablet, whatever device they are using, and just be there. Oh, I don't need to comb my hair. That's another thing. Some of these students felt as if, I don't need to look tidy.
They're
I
not
could
grooming
just
themselves.
no grooming is taking place. Their hair might be all over the place. No, you can still be presentable when you come online. Yes, and you see as Abby said that sleeping pattern. I mean that I think that would have changed for everyone.
mm.
Right? Let me tell you, I feel more tired online. I rather be outside and I get the pep there. But who online after sitting in front, it could be very, very, very tough.
And then again,
And
it's your comfort zone, isn't it?
Yeah,
In your house is your
yes,
comfort zone, so you're gonna
it
feel a bit
is.
exactly.
drained. Yeah.
It is. It is your comfort zone. Now, some persons, as I said, some persons were glad they were very fine. They were very productive. We are not saying no to that. There have been persons who would have really been productive more at home because of the convenience. If it is they prefer, let us say they may have reports to do and they find that they function better at night, they may stay up all night doing their report, right? And you see, when it is you have to go back out, it's going to be tough because now you're going to have to relearn all those things.
Mm,
Getting up early. I tell the students, listen, when it is school reopened, you can't, what time you'll come into school, what time you're going to reach the school. Because if it is you can't reach, you're at home and you don't need to travel to go anywhere and you're late for class. What's going to happen when you'll need to come back out? Like, how are you going to be late for an online class? Like, how?
Exactly, and it has to do with responsibility, being
yes.
responsible, knowing that, okay,
Yes,
I have this to do and I must prepare myself, in
Mm-hmm.
advance. And that is something that we took for granted, a lot of people, parents included, when it came to the online classes.
yes. I will say because I'm the stickler for time, I'm very thankful that I didn't have to experience where I'm, reaching to my class late or anything like that. Unless I'm in the office or something came up and I needed to address it, even though I may have been working from home. But that would be the only reason why I may start a class 5, 10 minutes late because it wasn't out of my control, right? It
Mm,
wasn't me choosing to arrive late or I decided cooking and washing and cleaning and I running here and I running there and I late because of whatever it is I choose to, and saying, it's my I'm saying personal time when it's really work
mm-hmm.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even things like, I mean, eating during class time.
Oh boy.
Just this week, I'm like, are you eating there? It's not lunch. It's close to lunchtime, but it's not yet lunchtime, right? And so sometimes they try to practice. They start developing these unhealthy habits,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you feel so comfortable at home. So you really develop some habits that really shouldn't be wrong, you know? While it
Definitely.
is, yeah, because when it is you have to come back out, you have to be punctual. You
Mm-hmm.
can't be absent. You can't say, I'm feeling sick, yes, or because you know your bed is right there, right? You're playing games, you're looking at a movie one side, and you
Or
can't
your
even hear what
auntie
the
come
teacher
over.
say.
Your
Oh
And
auntie
somebody
come
boy.
over,
timing
so
some,
you skip class.
yeah, those type of things, yes. So we will go on a short break and we will come back and continue the discussion. Yes, yes. So just so that ad just now, burn team Smexy, we will be having ladies night. It will be later, not 5:30, it will be a little later. So it will really be ladies night. Yes,
Mm.
the ladies with start and class, women empowering women. Right?
Yes.
It's not about bashing the men, right? And we'll be able to learn from one another. When people hear cool ladies night,
So bash
bashment
them a little
time.
bit. Just a little bit.
Bashment time, that's what people
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
right? Yeah, but it
But
will be, as we talk in education here, we will be able to, really share ideas and education, we will learn from each other rather than
Mm-hmm.
just be, some people they in a group but they're not learning any, you
Anything,
know,
yeah.
well, I wouldn't say they're not learning anything, but anything of good substance. Yes, because
exactly, nothing
you can
uplifting
learn.
or
Okay.
to
Yes,
help you
yes,
transcend to our next level.
yes. So we want that empowerment. When I hear the word empowerment, it's something good, it's something powerful. So that's what it will be. Yes. So
Nice.
as we talk in the education, um, and the devices, and even though school is they are trying to go back to that face to face, they are still giving devices. They are trying to now upgrade the system in terms of having a blended approach to learning, so that next time we know anything hits, we know now what to do. We will now be in tune, even if it is a given assignments. Now we will utilize the online platform to maybe assign students projects and so forth. So it will be a place where they can even submit their assignments. So it will really be, and it's in a good way. We know we learn something new during this time. How
Mm.
to use the online platform for learning, and how creative you can be on the online platform. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't all bad to say it was all bad. It allowed persons to see, they could have a new niche. They could really try new things. They can be creative, and that, it could adapt to situations. Although it have some persons that have not yet adapted to online learning. Trust me, it have some persons, even
Yes, for some it's difficult.
some persons have not yet adapted.
Change,
My
remember,
co
change is something hard to come by for some
I
people.
mean, no, I'm not talking about like that. I mean, sometimes the simplest thing like muting your mic while the teacher is speaking, or muting the mic while a student is speaking, and not and logging in classroom more than
Online
once, and then it
etiquette.
gets yeah,
Yeah.
it is, yes. I mean, some persons don't have the little things down, how to mute and unmute. And what it is, when it is, if the parents, they too had to learn now how to get into the class, right?
Mm.
Sometimes the students, their child may delete the link for the class, and then they'll say, I'm not getting through, I'm not seeing it. right? So for this week, I had to call. I might have to video call and say this is what to do. All these different things. Send over a link. Because I mean the young people they playing all kind of tricks. Who not getting through? But if it is, when another person you see the person get the invite to the class, so how it is they get in trouble to get in? And then of course, you'll have the parents saying, well, I don't know about this. Somebody else have to be around to assist them in, getting into class, getting their child into class, right? Because for us, like working with persons with disabilities, that they definitely need supervision. Some of them would have been able to pick it up, do what they have to do, but some definitely need that supervision. And as Abby had mentioned, that ability to focus, whew, listen, that everybody doesn't have that. Some it will be hard for them to even sit for 5 minutes.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, in a
5 minutes.
environment. My son was on Fortnite while in class. So
even in like a regular classroom, they can't sit still. So imagine when they're home on the online environment, it is challenging.
It is worse. It is worse. Very much worse. Even to get a child online is a challenge. To get them online. If you get them online, that's one tick. You tick that box. Child is online. The next box is for them to sit, even if it's half an hour. That will be our next check. And to return to class when you are required to return after the break or whatever lunch you have, that's another thing. Because some of them don't come back. It's like, you all know you're supposed to come back, right? Yeah, it is, really, really. No, and the other thing is if their camera is off, you don't know what it is. So the supervision, so that's another thing. Anything can happen behind. So this time it's behind the cameras, not behind closed doors, right? So behind the cameras, you don't know what's going on when their cameras are off. Right now, some of them I let them know, listen, I know your voices even though we are online. So even if your camera is off, or let us say the connection drops a bit and they'll say, oh, well, they're thinking Miss didn't hear, but yes, Miss also did hear what it is. Yes. Yes, who might say, I am the boss. I'm the boss. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh, really? Right? So sometimes, some of them may try tricks. They try tricks.
Oh, yes.
And some of them may tell their parents, the internet was giving trouble. Or they maybe say, well, Miss or Sir didn't show up. Or we didn't get any homework. All these different things they may come up with just not to do anything. And that's why the parental involvement is so important. Right? So parents learn the technology. Don't talk about, what is the other problem too with having this online learning? Now because, they have to go and look at videos. They will have to do a lot of research online for whatever classwork they have. Maybe more now than before, right? Pornography, right? I'm very sure during the pandemic, the watch time for pornography has gone
tripled.
up. Yeah. It went
because now they have access to a personal device that parents probably not checking. So they get the access now to do what they like on the internet.
So it was
and not just pornography, like probably grooming too, because people would have met children online who would have not really been online and try to groom them. It have all these things that parents not really thinking about because you're studying to go to work. Once your child in class, stay in class.
Right.
But it have so much other things to be worried about online.
Yes. Wow. And as Verena said, grooming, another thing that some of the students, so their parents may not have allowed them to have a phone, right? Let's say they will have been given a device now for online learning, and you say this is for online learning, but what they do, they download the TikTok, the Facebook, the Instagram. They don't have a number, but they are downloading the other things that they can actually have access to. And then they will speak to people that they don't know, and start doing things that they really shouldn't be doing. So parents, please, please, please check the device. And they are very smart because they know how to clear things. But do impromptu. Don't plan and say, well, I want to check a device today or anything like that. Just at any point in time, check the devices anytime. And then you may see things that you really don't want to see. And you will get
or reach out to an IT person, somebody in your family or whoever, so you know you can
know tech savvy to check up, right? Put on some parental controls if it is a need to, right? I have some young people, you know, they will be responsible online, and then of course we know that some of them, they are definitely irresponsible. They're trying to make friends. So because now they can't go out and they're not meeting up with their friends, and the other thing, parents, please, you see the bullying online, look out for that as well. Because just this week I saw where a parent shared a photo of a child sending another child. And I said, you should kill yourself, something to that extent. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Verena, you saw it? Yeah.
Yes, I saw it, and the sad part is that the school tried to play it off as though it was nothing. You know, that's what the parent was saying, that the school was trying to say, oh gosh, that's nothing. You know, but that is serious.
Very
Those things
much
are serious. Yeah.
Very serious. Right? So while it is some persons may think, well, bullying has stopped, no, people, there's something called cyberbullying. If it is your no, there's cyberbullying, there's sexting, sexual harassment, all those things can take place on the web. So don't think because they are not face to face, they can't say or do hurtful things and to others. So
I remember in foreign, a girl, I don't know if I saw it on a movie, but it was based on something that was real. The girl, she has a disability, and what her mom saw is that she would play games online, and so so the mom, they so wanted her to socialize, they were okay with it, right? And apparently she met some friends, and they inveigled her to leave home and go meet them, and she snuck out of the house and went to meet them, and they can't find her, you know, and she's autistic, you know, and they never found her again. So this parent has spent a lot of time educating parents about the dangers online, you know, because it is very serious.
It is. So yes, it is. We know that, you know, it is important to give, you know, your child some level of independence, but you need to teach them the street sense then. And because I mean, sometimes simply saying, well, I go to school in this area or whatever, that is like giving away a lot of information. Or you know that a child is saying they are going out with this group of friends. You know, at least when it is their particular age, you know, just know where it is they are going. Right? I mean, so Verena, you're saying that this young lady, she's autistic. Now, how did she reach the parent? How did she go on her own? What it is really?
She went on her own. She packed her bag.
I'd say
and like in the night when everybody was sleeping, well, I think it's a single family home, right? A single parent home. So when the mom was sleeping, she snuck out and went. So you know they're looking for her now, and they can't find her anywhere. And this is the thing that happened. The persons who took her are very well educated about technology, right? So they told her to take her laptop and her phone, all the devices that she would communicate with them on. She went with that. So they probably discarded of that so that nobody could trace the messages or what went on in the online chat forum. This is how high tech that disappearance was. So this is, it's very serious, parents. It is very
right?
serious.
So,
And I was worried because my son likes online games, but I always tell him from since smaller, um, there are bad people and I don't want you sharing certain information online. I mean, I started that when he was 4, telling him those things because he liked
right,
games. And I know the
Mhm.
games
right.
that he
So,
playing, he could chat.
Yeah.
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 So we'll go to a short break and be right back. Yes, and
Doing
just
TV is about merging online lives with basic unconventional raw nutrition services.
Yes, people, it's Sweaty Sunday, so let's get this workout in. It's time to smile, sweat, and shine. Let's go.
Giving it that TV effect while streaming live.
yes, so we are back. So yes, parents, be vigilant. Teach your children to be vigilant and responsible. So, as you know, I like to say we all have rights. The children say, well, I have rights. I should be able to do this. I have the right to play and whatever. Now they can't play outside, so they're going to play online. But while
Mhm.
it says you have the right to, let's say, play online, whatever games you want to play, you need to be responsible. You really, really need to be
Definitely.
responsible. Yeah, and I really believe that, as Verena said, if it is they don't know, get someone who knows, get somebody who's tech savvy, right? And that has to be somebody that you trust as well, because
I
they
was now
might
gonna
get
say that.
somebody, and that person they may, those whatever they, whatever they do, hack the device and put in
Mhm.
whatever and record you and all the different things that they do that you see on the Lifetime movies. What is on the Lifetime movies could actually be real in real life. Yeah, in
Yeah,
real
get all
life.
your
So while it
banking
is might
information off the laptop or whatever device.
yeah, so while it is
Yeah.
we may think, oh, their life no it Lifetime movie is really life. There are situations that they're really gonna encounter in life.
Hmm.
Right? So we may laugh at it, take it, brush it off. And with that bullying that took place online where that other child stand, that I mean, and then the teachers brush that off and like it's nothing. That is not that's unacceptable. Really,
Hmm.
really unacceptable. Right? Because
Definitely.
and the other thing too, what, because it is the students are not in school, right? They may form WhatsApp groups. And
Hmm.
the things that may go on in these groups, it is, ooh, it, you won't be, sometimes you mightn't believe all these things happening, but they are happening. And that's
Hmm.
why we really need to monitor. You see, monitoring, yes, you want to give them their independence, you want to let them feel, they're, nice and you're not, hanging over them, whatever. But there must be some level of monitoring.
Hmm.
Don't be in denial. Don't say my child wouldn't do that. Yes, your child will do that. No, my child will send any naked pictures. Yes, your child can send naked pictures.
Mhm.
No, my child will ask for those type of pictures.
Hmm.
Yes.
They
And
would.
another thing, so as I'm speaking here, what I will encourage parents to do, if it is because sometimes a situation may arise where that child may receive a pornographic video or image, someone may ask them to, do certain things. What I always encourage, don't delete it right away. You may be upset. You might be confused. Don't delete it. Even if it means taking a screenshot, right, Verena? Sure, I would like to know where your alignment.
Shamika, now
Well,
talk about that. Posting your thing online. I can't do that. I can't post my location.
yeah.
Private
Yeah.
message me.
Oh
Oh
God,
So
God.
good one.
your screenshot the messages, screenshot the number that you get it from. Because sometimes maybe you know on WhatsApp you wouldn't get the person, just click on the profile, screenshot, so you have the evidence. You see, evidence is also very important. Sometimes you don't have, just as anything, when the police need to charge someone for a crime, information, the evidence, they need the evidence. So don't delete it right away. Don't be too upset. Right now, if it is you go to the different, level of authorities, like in this case with the parent, she went to the teacher did nothing. Then you have to go to the principal. And if the principal did nothing, then you need to take it to the ministry. Well, now it's have Facebook, so that's where everybody will go one time. Yeah, well, I gonna put you on red black.
Yeah, but I am going through the correct channels, and when that channel fail, then I will go to the media because
Yeah.
there you always gonna get incidences in school where something happens and you find it was unfairly treated with or so on, and you could address these things through the Ministry of Education. So you go there first before you blast up the school. You go there first, and after you could blast. But make
Well,
sure that it
listen,
is dealt with because
sometimes,
no, because
yeah,
you could be it could be unnecessary too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, what we fail to recognize is that person may be going through something, it's not it's not an excuse or a reason to behave the way that you behave or say something to someone else and that like that. But you don't know what that child might be. He or she may be abused at home, a victim of abuse. So it is important to take the right channels, go through the right procedures, so even that child can get the help that they need. Yeah, that child can definitely get the help that they need. So it's always a work in progress, a work in progress, right? So even as a social worker, I had to adjust to online counseling, and what I miss though is seeing the client face to face, where you could get all. You can't see if they're shaking their leg, if they're fidgeting. It has certain things that you will really miss out on. So you really have to pay extra attention to the details, right? And it could be a little bit more challenging. The person may have, as you say, distraction in their home. So it could be a little tough,
And
forgetting
then
what time it.
online kind of take away that communication. You don't feel the complete one-on-one communication with somebody. You're not getting to connect really then.
But listen, I did a
Even
lot
if it's
of
online.
connect. I even though it's online, it still have that connect, but it have little
Mm-hmm.
pieces that just wouldn't be there.
Missing.
Just as with
Okay.
teaching in the class, it will have some things that just wouldn't be there. Now it have some. They will. They're looking forward to it. All right, see you next week. They look for. I mean, they ain't going nowhere. So what else again I'm gonna do? Yeah. So it's like that as well. What else? I have nothing else to do. What I'm gonna do, right? But I think that of course, we really need to learn, even out of online learning, is time management. Because you may think you have all the time in the world now that you may be working from home, learning from home, but time management is something that we really, really need to get down pack. We need to get it right. Time management. That would have been affected. Some persons really don't know how to manage their time and how to say, okay, this time to this time I'll get this done, and not procrastinate. A lot of procrastinating. Oh, I have time. Oh, that's just small thing. I can do that quick. No, no, not at all. Right? That's not for everybody. All right. So we'll go to a quick break, and when we come back, we will wrap up. Yeah.
Top up with Burn Team anywhere and anytime for both digital and B-Mobile. Top up yourself, a family member or friend using online banking in the comfort of your home. Just click on our WhatsApp button and say the word. For more info, visit our Facebook page. Top Up with Burn Team, where it's safe, easy, and convenient.
Yes. So, as you know, we come to the end of today's show, this evening's show. Abby, what are some words of encouragement to the parents, to the students, to the educators? You know, what in words of encouragement you have for them? What advice?
Patience. Just patience. Just grow as much as you can, because dealing with kids at home 24/7 is not easy. And still on top
Yeah,
of that, have to do your work plus housework and cook and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Patience, because I know a lot of abuse happening due to kids at home. So just have ounce amount of patience.
yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
I agree with that. Patience, patience, patience. Verena.
I would say practice being mindful. Be mindful of all the things that are out there. I'm not saying to be negative, but you have to always have an eye out. So parents, be mindful of what could happen and put measures in place. And students, be mindful too that this is your education. It's something serious. And though it might be a struggle now, it is not going to be a struggle forever.
Hmm.
So, bear with
Yeah.
it for a short time. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Right. So today, where should I start? To the students, just now you will be back outside, right? Practice time management. Don't be afraid to ask for help, right? Because sometimes we, even as adults, we don't know how to ask for help, right? So I encourage you to ask for help. If it is in no way distracted, some of the students do admit that, hey, I just get real distracted. Or I feel real bored in this class. What it is, reach out to somebody so that you can get ideas on how to be able to focus or how to manage your time, create a schedule so that you can get all the assignments done in time, right? And to the parents, be involved, be there, be present with your child and give them that support. So even though you may not know the technology and the runarounds, ask for help. That goes for the parents as well. Ask for help if it is in need help and helping your child reach their goals. And as Abby said, be patient because trust me, I know you might be losing a patience with the child and the teacher online as well. And for the educators, see this as really a learning experience. um don't give up. Teaching, some will call it a vocation or a calling, right? And for the love of the students, your children, however you may consider them, remember what it is you get into. The some, I don't know, some you have gone into it for the money, but remember what it is you went into this profession or vocation for. And keep, really work with your students, be patient with them. And if it is you yourself need help with even understanding the technology and needing some, really that teamwork in terms of getting things done, don't be afraid to ask for help at the end of the day, right? So we really encourage everyone. This is a learning experience. Let us, be more creative, adapt, and it will be, better individuals in the future, in the long run. We will come out of this pandemic with new skills, I should say. New
And
skills,
more
new
resilient.
techniques. Yes,
More
yes.
resilient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, so don't forget, people, tomorrow is Sweaty Sunday, 7 a.m. Check out Smexy. That's where we will be. Yes, so y'all, thank you all for locking on, tuning in, and sharing your experiences. Abby, have a wonderful night because I know it's time for you to hit the
It's
bed.
late. Yes.
Yes. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Verena. We know that you're outside ready to line, but you still took the time. And we
Yes.
want to
Hmm.
thank Lion for, doing his tech. He's the tech guy. Right? So thank you, Lion, for your technical support and patience as well. So you all have a good night, everyone. We'll catch you
Bye.
7 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, I'm so city.
I got SPM, baby. I got SPM, no. I fais petit temps, baby. I got SPM, no. I got SPM, baby. I got SPM, no. Wap got SPM, tandis. I got SPM, no. C'est genre de femme, remets l'argent, bon tout là. Toujours à checker, n'est qu'à travailler dans l'état. T'as eu remets pouvoir, t'as eu remets ça. Quatre roues motrices, vite des services de l'état. Alpia, pas exigeant passé, yo. Yo pas souviré, depuis yo, pas prado. Dommage.